adults, I bet. And we also provide, as a benefit, a wealth of resources on the U.S. issues, UN global issues, club news. Anybody spend some time on the website? There's a lot. If you go layer after layer after layer after layer, there's more and more and more and more information and resources, and it really, really is a benefit for both you and your club members as well. Okay, there's something a little extra for everyone in your club. We're seeing short-term members, those transient people that come in for 3 years and then go back out again on overseas assignments. They sometimes wonder, they're really interested only in adapting to their local environment, meeting a few people, getting practical things taken care of, and they would really like to go, and they have a difficult time saying, well, why would I want to be part of a larger organization, Falco? What we can give is obviously access to a network of other clubs around the world for the next assignments and where they're moving on. Repatriating members, we have our alumni organization, the SAUSA, that is in the United States. So anyone who's repatriating after a long-term, after an overseas assignment, can find another organization to receive them. As they say, re-entry culture shock is worse than going over. Michelle is smiling because she's just experienced that. Long-term members, sometimes your members in your club might be getting kind of tired of the activities. Say, yeah, well, you know, I've been hanging around in my club, but it's not giving me anything anymore. Falco gives an opportunity to maintain those long-term members and give them some and access to a larger platform and a larger world. And potential new members, you have something else to sell. You're not only part of a smaller group, but also a larger group. Everyone, you know, Falco really does give a greater sense of purpose and meaning through all kinds of amazing opportunities to interact with women, to get on a bigger stage, and to give back through some of our philanthropic areas. Who is Falco? Well, we just met them all. Stand up again. There's one mistake up there. I have Lucy Later still as the U.S. parliamentarian. I noticed last night at 12 o'clock instead of Emily. So this is how the organizational chart works. Each of the vice presidents have various chairs under them who are, some of those are free, so anyone who's interested in volunteering and getting more involved, come and see us. We'll have lots of opportunities for that. Anyone seen this slide? Look familiar? Okay, anyway, okay. Who wants to tell me what these 4 pillars are about? The 4 areas, the 4 pillars of Falco, we've pretty much touched on all of them. The member club support, helping clubs to network, to grow, and to develop, to U.S. issues, global issues, or UN and philanthropy connections. Okay, member club support, we said we've got sharing best practices. Here we'll be doing a lot of informal sharing of best practices. We're formalizing and institutionalizing some of that through the online best practices library. You also get club support in terms of educational awards for children of members and development grants for your pet development projects abroad. And also the possibility of enlarging your circle of influence to the world, to your region as well, to regional meetings. And this is what you get for your $1 per member around the world. So let that sink in a little bit. You actually get quite a lot for $1 a year. Okay, I'm talking about U.S. issues, past issues that have been, let's say, taken on and championed by Falco. Falco is our U.S. citizenship rights and U.S. voting from overseas. Those are things we really take for granted now. We don't worry about passing on American citizenship to our children. That was a big issue years ago that women in Falco represented and fought for in Washington. The hot current issues, and as I said, not by chance, we have our sponsor this year who's coming to give us more information about this, is U.S. taxation and banking for Americans overseas. And many of you are already aware that leave, etc. We're all a little concerned about that. So there's a hardship, and we have also U.S. issue resources. We do Americana, a program, APA, and you'll be hearing about those for sure over the next couple of days. So it says the global issues are mainly, we're trying to connect the Millennium Development Goals set by the UN and translate them into the task forces that are championed by various chairs within FALCO. And so there's all kinds of ways to get involved. By getting involved with one of the task forces within FALCO, you're actually supporting the UN development, the Millennium Development Goals. So let that sink in a minute. So you actually are, by doing a small thing within this organization, you are contributing to a much bigger picture. Our task forces is Mona coming stand up again. No, she's left. Here she is. Yeah, and she's the one who's in charge of all of these task forces that you saw on the previous page. Who's in charge of these task forces? Members of FALCO. So anybody who comes forward and really is very passionate about one of these task force areas is very welcome to get involved and provide us with information and resources. These resources then are available to reps to bring back to their club, and then the club members actually can join a task force to work on these levels. So the circle goes around. What goes around comes around. Philanthropy, you've met Melissa Mash, the president of, outgoing president, of the FALCO Foundation. They take care of fundraising, club and individual sponsored donations, corporate benefactors, that would be nice. And they give out the development grants that some of your clubs have applied for, education awards for member children, and the Target program, which, how many know about the Target program? Yeah, how many clubs have donated a well to the top of the program? So, okay, you're going to be hearing a lot more about that in the next couple of days as well. And we also have an emergency relief fund that is being renamed, but you'll hear about that later, with which we collect money for specific projects of emergency nature. Okay. I think we know about development grants and education awards. It seems like most of you, your clubs have, okay, that you've already experienced as a benefit. Okay, and the Target program as well. We've already achieved our first goal, so we're moved the bar up a bit more. So move the bar up and see where we can go in terms of both raising awareness and raising funds for this specific project. You don't have to go through the details. Yes. And FALCO into the future. We've spent the last 2 days basically in the board meeting. We haven't left the hotel yet. Got here on Sunday. Talking about just this, what is FALCO into the future. We're very working quite hard to make FALCO more relevant to the membership of clubs. So I would like to hear personally from all of you and your experience and what kind, how your club are experiencing being part of this network. We want to do everything that we can to make, to help you to bring, to see your club, to see FALCO being relevant to both their club and their individual development. We're working quite hard on using all of this amazing new technology that's out there to bring this global community even closer, not just face-to-face, but making some of those far-flung clubs feeling being embraced more by the FALCO circle. Supporting the UN Millennium Goals and working towards a better world. You'll hear a lot about what we're doing on all of those fronts. And continuing to advocate for the rights of Americans living overseas during these changing times, and particularly American women. And there's really no one else out there who's specifically concerned with American women's rights. So that's one area. And leave you on the last note of the FALCO mission to close the circle from where we started. Serving as a resource and channel of information, contributing to the global community, and providing a voice for American women overseas. Any questions?